everyone, I'm Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to the Dose of Bliss show today. I have a really good friend of mine, Lynette Cenee.
Hi, love. It's so good to be here.
It's so good. She is the most mindful, amazing person you guys are going to meet. So we're obviously here to talk about mindfulness today and meditation.
I love it.
And getting on the right path. So let's just start out as, what is mindfulness?
Well, just before we started rolling, I was like, let's just take a deep breath.
Exactly.
I just think that throughout my journey, it's taken till my 30s to really kind of dig in more to a spiritual life and a more serious and intentional spiritual life. But I've kind of always been a very spiritual person, but it became very real in the more recent years. So for me, I just like to just remain present in every moment. So knowing that, okay, yes, we're filming something, but where is this going to go? It says that our voices are going to be able to go to the ends of the earth, and we can really help ascend consciousness. So as woohoo as that sounds, I'm like, let's just sit in this moment and realize, like, oh my gosh, we met through this like I just like to go through all of the different things and just realize, wow, each moment is a gift.
Yeah, it really is. And you said that you've been like spiritual always, but you've changed to being more mindful. So how did that change? Like, what were you like before, and what was like the turning point that turned you to the next level?
Typically, there's a quote from this man named A.W. Tozer, and he says, in order to be used greatly by the divine, you must be hurt deeply. Now, that sounds a little bit like harsh, but it's really true. So typically, and we've talked about this before in the past, typically when you've gone through a lot of pain, it really helps you kind of ascend and just realize you can either go all the way down and stay at a low vibration, or you can just take it as it comes and go, all right, I'm stronger than this. Clearly, God trusts me with a lot, because typically you're not given more than you can handle. So that means that the divine trusts you with this much suffering to just be able to help people in the future. So whether that's health, whether that's, different toxicity in relationships, I think just meet each challenge with a cheer and realize that you're being refined to be like on mission for something really great.
I like how you say that, meet each challenge with a cheer, because something I want people to know when they watch the show, a lot of people are going through hard times and they might have not gotten to that point of like mindfulness, but it really is true, because we did talk about it. Like, you have to go through a hard time where you sit and look at yourself, because when you're going through a good time, things are good. You are going to be in a good state, but you're not growing. But when you're in pain, that's really you struggling to grow.
Yeah, to that next, it's always like these little pockets of, like, sometimes struggle doesn't last forever. I mean, it is if you say it does, but I'm like, your words matter. So it's if you realize that there's just there's just certain levels of ascension. So in order to get through that next hurdle, it's typically something very huge that's going to open up. So I'm like, all right, we've been sowing some really good seeds for the last couple of years. So I'm feeling that abundance bubbling up. And that's a good season, because you're like, all right, I've kind of been through a lot over the last few years, but I know that means something great is on the other end of that.
Do you have an example of like a time you went through something really hard and then like what came out of it after?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, pretty much, it's funny because Jessica, that's okay, we'll come anyway. When I was here at this very space the last time, I was talking about marriage, and that to me has been the biggest challenge, but the greatest reward, because you're literally met with your perfect mirror. So you can't run. You can only hide, but for so long, and you can keep running, but eventually push comes to shove. So for me, marriage was really interesting to have that experience of death to self, because marriage doesn't work unless it's two people committed to the same thing. So you have to graft in as a unit. So for me, my major growth came from getting married. I was like, whoa, this is a whole new level of awareness and recognizing that if you want to continue to keep moving forward and like spiral dynamics upward, then it's going to have to take a lot of inner work. So I always tell people, do the work inside that only you can do, because your partner's not going to do it for you. So it is messy. It's not always fun. But once you can just like break through all of that stuff, there's freedom at the other end of it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's soothing just to hear. And, I was watching your videos before this, doing a little extra research, and you're saying, there's that inner voice within yourself that you don't listen to. Can you give a little advice for people, like, what happens when you don't listen to that voice, and kind of how to,
that's a great question.
amplify the sound of it when you're, we've all been there where we're like, I feel this in my gut, but like, I'm just going to focus on this instead.
Well, okay, I think we can just bring it right here. So let's say, Lindsay, you're like, okay, I want to come out with this podcast and it's going to be awesome. And I'm so excited. And it's just like a little idea that's in your head, right? Well, to manifest that, there's going to be a lot of challenges because equal and opposite reaction comes from that. So you're like, I know I want to help people. I want to talk about stuff that matters. And I want this podcast to be great. Well, equal and opposite reaction. So there's always going to be challenges because something doesn't want that to come out because it's so good. It's such a pure vibration of energy. So there's going to be other thoughts. Lack of worthiness, fear, lack, I don't know how I'm going to get all the resources. I don't know how so then you have to be the bouncer at the door, at your mind's gate, and be like, you're not allowed in here. That thought is not allowed in here. So nope, that fear or lack or scarcity or whatever it is, right, that comes up. Typically for me, it's lack of worthiness because I always feel like I'm a very humble person, but then sometimes that can be really, really misconstrued. And it's almost, I play small. So I'm like, oh, well, that's for somebody else. And then I finally started going, you know what, screw that. No, I know that my intentions are so pure. So who better than me to take it all the way? Because I know what will happen when abundance does come, when all of these things do come, because I know my heart is pure. So I have to take it all the way. That's an example. So for you, I'm going, no, this will be abracadabra, I figured out means, and my parents are world traveling magicians.
Oh yeah, your family is magicians. I totally forgot about that.
So abracadabra literally in Hebrew means I create as I speak. So what you say matters. So if you say this podcast will be great and everyone's going to love it, then it's true. But that has to be met with action.
Yes, so, you have to act on it. And I have a favorite quote, when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give permission for others to do the same.
Yes.
So I mean, you just saying this inspires me. I hope everyone feels it I feel sitting here, because she is magical energy. I wish the people watching could feel it. But when you go for what you want, it actually inspires others. I look at you and your channel and how you're here. Your makeup's always perfect, and you go for what you want, even if you struggle, and it inspires me to do the same thing.
Good. Well, that's the goal, man. It's we are all on the same page. We're all on the same team. We're all really connected. And so the second that you can understand that when Lindsay wins, I win. So of course I'm going to be on your podcast. Or when I win, Lindsay wins. So if we can all understand that we're all working together, serious magic could happen, but we're all kind of working siloed out. So let's stop that.
Yeah. So the magic, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Can you explain kind of what the magic of the universe is, to you?
Sure. Well, I don't know if we have enough time for the whole thing, but just in
we
short.
We can always film another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back.
Well, I'm ever evolving. So it's something new happens every day where I'm still learning. But just even the idea, and it's a quote that goes around Pinterest and is kind of almost not taken as seriously as I take it. Be a seeker of everyday magic. Well, what does that mean? Obviously, I grew up with parents that were traveling the world doing magic.
So you have
I do magic.
Take on magic, actual magic too.
Tricks. So I do actual tricks. It's not real magic, meaning I'm not, actually reading minds. I'm kind of playing around. I think there's definite empath energy that I'm able to sense energy, but I'm not sitting here saying, I'm the vessel, guys. By the way, I'm this crazy magical, I don't know. There's ways that can get misconstrued. So for me, it's just a really deep connection knowing that God is the best magician of all. Literally all of this is created from some divine source. So for me, it's been trying to see each moment. Already, I came here, I prayed over this. My husband and I prayed over it. We're very intentional. So it's every time that we're showing up and our voices are being heard, let it be something that is going to resonate deeply with people. So we just meet he's off to a music session, I'm here. So we kind of divide and conquer, but it's just even showing up, realizing every person that you're talking to is hearing words, and we are upwards of 70% water. It's going to go into a whole scientific thing, but water holds memory. Every molecule of water holds memory. So if we're upwards of 70% water, look it up on YouTube, look up cymatics. It's pretty powerful. So at every even just atom, little molecule is magic. So we are made up of the same stuff that stars are. So it's pretty a deep topic. But if you start realizing how integrated we all really are, the animals, with the plants, with all of creation. It's really special. So we're not here by chance, by sheer chance. I don't believe in chance. I don't believe in accidents or like, you know, coincidences. It's all orchestrated for a really high good. So that's what I just try and usher in every day. I'm like, all right, what's gonna be it today? I always recommend, though, I will say, waking up correctly. Do not go straight for your phone. That's already going to present lack mentality, because right now social media, while a beautiful tool for us to connect, really damaging if you're just allowing that stuff right from the get-go in the morning. So we are ferociously sacred about our mornings together. So already we've done like a couple hour session together in the morning. We wake up, we read certain books. I have a gratitude journal that I, do every single day and every night. So I write a few things that I'm grateful for in the morning, and then I recap at night. All of those things have literally, truly changed my life. And then vision boards. Vision boards have really...
I'm all about all
Oh, yeah, we've talked. That's how we connected.
Yeah, that's right. How we became friends talking about
Yeah, that's right.
It's the intention, like what you were saying, that you put out there. Like, this is what my show is about, is people don't do these things every day. They don't realize that there's people waking up every morning. They have a routine to be happy. It's not like you're just happy every day, that we're just these inspired beings. We have to, like, it's work. We fight it. We work against it. Yeah. We have a whole activity. And not only that, I mean, I do the same thing as you. Before I meet people, I always say, if I could talk to this person and make them feel better than how they felt before they met me, even for 1 second, what I've done my purpose. Like, you said a prayer before you came here, and if only we knew on those days we were sad, that there are people out there saying prayers for us that we don't even know, walking down the street. I'm getting chills talking about this. And it's like,
see, that's when you know. Look at.
Yeah, are you too?
Yeah.
I hope the people watching, you guys, I hope watching, like, comment, below.
Yeah, no, really.
Feel that. But, like, you need to put that intention out there, because I feel that, and people don't say that they're doing that.
I think there's a spiritual awakening happening across the earth, whether we like it or not. It's happening. Meaning, I love it. So it's to watch it happen is really special, because I'm like, 2019 is going to be a really special year for a lot of things. For the creatives, I think all artists are going to be really empowered. Creatives, any sort of.
I know, I'm feeling it, and it's like a release. Like, I was just I was just sick, but you get it. It's like it's getting out with the old and in with the new.
Yep.
And so I wanted to touch on, because you're focusing on like a new path now as well. And what I think is really interesting about some of the things that you talk about is, when you want something but you're like weren't ready for it. So, but it's too hard. It's when you have a following on YouTube, or even if you don't, it's hard. You want to keep going because you want to please other people.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about like what you've been dealing with that, and how you kind of overcame, having to please other people and, put yourself first again?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and really relevant to the season that I'm in right now. I started my YouTube channel. We just celebrated 6 years. So 6 years of kind of outputting content. So I think as creatives, we tend to output. But it's really important before meltdown, or breakdown,
or
whatever, to realize that there needs to be a cycle of inputting good stuff, so that you're not just like running yourself dry. So I hadn't learned that balance. And so for me, I was doing the beauty stuff, and I love beauty. It's what I've done my whole life. I went to cosmetology school. I mean, I know it better than anything. I feel like I could literally do this my whole life, but I want to affect the beauty industry. I don't want to just be a beauty influencer creating tutorials like everyone else. This is so boring. So I hit like a halt, and I was going, I'm transcending quicker than the contracts that I'm signing, than the people I'm surrounding myself with. It's not a bad thing. It's just that I have a very specific mission. So I had to just be honest with myself. And I'm not seeking to be relevant. I'm not seeking to be the cool kid, or I'm just seeking light always. So if you go to my Twitter bio, it's right at the top. I'm not seeking to be liked. If the world likes me, there's probably something wrong, because I'm ascending quicker than I think a lot of the world. So typically that can get lonely though. So there are lonely seasons where I'm like really insulating and cocooning in my little safe space, but I'm getting ready to, again, share. But you have to take those times. And to the outside perspective, they're like, what is she doing? And I'm like, trust me, I know what I'm doing, and it will all make sense later. But those times it's just to realize, I know what I'm doing. I don't care what anyone else thinks. So you just have to put all that to bed. But it's definitely not easy because you're kind of like getting the looks and all that. But I just go, it'll all come full circle every time. Journaling, I journal everything so that I can look back because I've done this my whole life, really. Then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, like I have this in writing even where I was in this season. And it's all cool to look back on. It's your account of this life.
I love how you call it a season too, that it's not like forever.
No,
it's just
never.
A passing moment in time. So we're almost out of time, but what I wanted to end with is, so what are your biggest tips that you just want to leave people to remember about mindfulness and, taking their life to the higher level?
Yeah, I mean, we can just recap everything I said. So waking up correctly, don't just like reach for your phone. As hard as that is, you guys, these are all designed to be like a drug for us, and it is. So if we can just self-mastery, realize, do not go to the phone, go to what you can be grateful for that day. So first and foremost, if you could start your day at least with that, and then if you can definitely create a meditation practice, even 5 to 20 minutes a day will change your life. So just being still, all of the answers are within you. You don't have to go outside of yourself. It's all in here. And that sounds super woohoo until you do it. And then you realize, oh, I'm a lot more powerful than I think. So those are 2 tips that I think if you could just start there, the gratitude, all of that, you're good. You're solid.
I already feel like if you guys could feel the energy, it really makes the biggest difference when I really love your tip of just waking up in the morning and starting it off right. And at least if you're going to fill your head with something, fill it with positive things, especially first things in the day, not like the media or social media.
Yeah, you have to work social media to work for you, not the other way around. Don't be the dog being wagged by the tail. This is something that even these programmers that created it, they're not on it. So does that give you an idea?
Yeah.
We have to use it as a tool, not the other way around.
Exactly.
We don't have to do anything. Who told us that we have to post it and it has to look the exact same color and we have to do this? It's so ridiculous. And just realize, stick and post. Post what you want to say, let it be light to the world, and then leave.
Yeah.
Don't spend so much time looking and comparing, because that's where I got really lost of like, oh, I don't have enough and I'm different, So
exactly. No, and that's life too. Not even just social media. It's just life. Well, thank you so much for being here. You guys, tell everybody where they can follow you.
You can follow me over at Lynette Cenee on anything. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, and make sure to check in because I always am talking about this kind of stuff. My husband and I love to be the light. So come and follow us. You'll have a blast.
Follow the light. I'm serious. She's all light right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to binge watch it on FocusTVNetwork.com, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.